lifts. And by that I mean, do we want to put the weight in our clients' hands and, you know, continue to challenge them so that that weight is so heavy that they drop the weight on their chest? Is that a good idea? No. And it's not a good idea for several reasons. One, psychologically, it's not good to fail, right? When you fail over and over again, your mind just says, okay, here's that weight again, and you fail. But more importantly, and we're going to demonstrate this. Katie, if you could stand. We're going to go ahead and let's do a different exercise. Let's do one for your anterior deltoid. It's called a front raise, and many females would like to do this, and it's literally this. So notice how my thumb is here, and I'm working the anterior deltoid. So we're going to do it with one with each hand, and we're going to alternate. By that I mean literally one and then the other. Good. Knees are slightly bent, and back is in perfect posture. Good. And elbow is always soft. Great definition. Great. Now, what we're doing here is we're working the anterior deltoid. And let's say, keep going. Let's say we got to a level where she was like, oh, she's dying, and I put so much weight on that the Golgi tendon organ, and what that is in your tendon, there's a Golgi tendon organ, and it senses the amount of stretch in the muscle. And when it senses like, oh my gosh, that's way too much weight, then it will drop the weight. So if she's doing a bench press, it's going to drop the weight on her. If she's doing this, it's going to drop the weight. Well, what happens is if you constantly give your client too much weight, then pretty soon that Golgi tendon organ habituates. The Golgi tendon organ says, uh-oh, here she goes again, and she will just drop the weight. And so rather than getting stronger, she'll be overtraining and getting weaker. So beware. Always gradually increase the amount of weight. Always keep your client successful so that you're always there to spot. And secondly, have it so that you're maybe only adding maybe a 2.5 to each side. Very good. So see, continue. I'm going to give her a workout. She's working anterior deltoid. So she worked, remember we worked the medial deltoid, anterior. Now we're going to work the posterior deltoid to show you just another variation. Instead of doing regular shoulder presses, we can work posterior deltoid. For this, you're going to continue your same posture, except you're going to bend your knees a little more. You're going to lean over a little bit more from the waist. Right, you got it. So we're working more the back of the shoulder. Many of you probably teach group exercise classes, and these type of workouts are fine where you have all of your clients doing it. You have to watch for neutral spine, though. You have to make sure your client is maintaining that perfect spinal alignment here, because this is where injuries occur. But if you're training your client one-on-one, then again, you can give her that little bit extra if she needs it at the end range of motion. Now, I'm going to grab those, and I'm going to show you an alternate way to do this exercise to really target that rear or posterior deltoid. Did you notice a moment ago when Katie was doing it, do you think that it was just posterior deltoid doing that, or were there other muscles involved? Other muscles, including rhomboids and traps. So, Katie, if you could lie, this time pronated just on your stomach on the bench, and I'm going to hand the weight just from the floor, literally, is fine. And here's this exercise. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that should help you tremendously in all of your programming. If you can train your client to retract the scapula, and that literally just means bring your shoulders back. That's called scapular adduction, bringing the shoulders back. Now we're getting the kind of range of motion that she needs, not to train, because we're not trying to train the rhomboids anymore. We're trying to train this posterior, the back of the shoulder. So first she retracts the scapula, good, and now she literally just lifts. Right, and then keep the scapula retracted. Yeah, there's no abduction, right? Keeping that scapula retracted the whole time, so it's all about the posterior deltoid. Don't let that don't let that scapula come loose. Keep the scapula contracted. And that's a lot of weight to be handling for this exercise. But you see how we're doing it now. Katie, I just want you to flip over on your back, and I want the folks out there to be able to see how you do this with the chest press too, because you can do it with the chest press. Now, this may be new to you, and what I want you to do is retract your scapula right now. So just bring your shoulders back, and your shoulders will stay back for the entire exercise. And I'm glad you got that stable base. Good. So one weight in each hand. Your scapula remains retracted the whole way, and you start in parallel. Now, when you come up this time, don't let your scapula come out. Don't reach forward. Okay, see, feel a little difference than before? It really helps to target that pectoralis a little bit more. Now, we're not using the serratus. Your serratus would be if you extend it a little further, like you'll see some folks do. But we don't want to get the serratus involved in this because a lot of people are benching too much weight, and that could put a lot of pressure on your serratus. So that's why we're just targeting the pectoral muscles. So the key tip today, remember, for many of your exercises, keep that scapula area adducted. Keep your scapula together throughout that range of motion.